strain your head to see me. If you can see me easily, because I'll be moving around. I don't want to get out of your coverage area. I am happy to be here, and I am grateful for the invitation. The invitation came late though, and it's only the Rich Church that can get me to respond to an invitation at that time because of my relationship with Rich Church. Many people do not know this, but my breakthrough in theater started from here. I came to produce a play with the youth fellowship. This was in 2004, I think. And, they are here. Oh, I see. Charlie, the boys have grown. And after the show, the pastor called me to the front and prayed for me. And that has been, since then, my productions have worked and have been successful. So I look back to that evening and to the prayer that was said for me and over me here. And I know that is where it began, and I'm so grateful. I also know the ministry of the Rich Church Couples Fellowship because I know some of the graduates from this place, people who have passed through, and how seriously you guys take it. And I'm happy that you've kept it going. So I'm grateful to be here. I am seeing some faces I didn't expect to see. Master, it's good to see you. That's one of the most incredible young men in Ghana. And somebody I'm very proud to call my son, and my friend and his wife. It's good to see you. I haven't mentioned any name, but they know who I'm talking to. How to make your spouse, how to love your partner to bits. To bits. I'm going to share with you some of the things I wish I knew when I married. I married in '83 as a Brother Oja. The problem with Brother Ojas is that they don't know romance. And if you're a lady here married to a Brother Oja, be because you struggle kakra. Because we don't understand what romance is. We don't do it right. So heavenly minded, we are of no earthly use. But I've come a long way. The Lord God has been good to me and compelled me to learn and to learn well. I had a great disadvantage because I also come from a home where there were no girls. My parents had 5 boys. So I didn't understand who a woman was. And then I get married, and I realized that, hey, the difference between a man and a woman, be small. Be small. Over the years, and then I get into counseling, and I got into counseling simply because you are a leader. People think that God speaks to you, so God should speak to you about their marriages, and it's not like that. But when sometimes you are a leader, particularly a youth leader, even if you are not in the deliverance ministry, you have to cast out demons. Because you go to a camp meeting and they present to you with a possessed person, and you've got to perform. So that's how I got into counseling, because they had nowhere to turn to, so they come to you, and you have to struggle to find the answers. I have, over the years, come to this understanding that marriages are in trouble. Christian marriages are in trouble. I admire all the men who are here, because men don't like programs like this. It's true. I admire all the men who are here because men don't like programs like this. I congratulate all the women who brought their husbands, because I'm sure it took a bit of coaxing, bribing, negotiating, rewarding. It's not that we don't love you. It's just that this programs like this, no, it's not for us. We don't like it. We hate it. That is why in Ghana there are a lot of married men who hate me because I'm always talking about marriage, and then they don't like that. Men, we don't like it. I'm aware of that. I'm sure that if I was not a Whyte, I would also not like a Whyte. I mean, I'm very sure of that. Over the years, I've come to this conclusion that the reason why we have issues in our marriages, Christian marriages in particular, is because men insist on relating to women as if they are relating to a fellow man, and women relate to a man as if they are relating to a fellow woman. That is one of the reasons why we have so many fights, so many misunderstandings in marriage. I have seen marriages end and the people still feel love for each other. Sometimes we make a mistake. We think that the opposite of love is hatred. The opposite of love is not hatred. The opposite of love is indifference. If you get to the point where whatever he does not move you, that you don't care anymore, love is gone. But if you still care and even get angry and throw tantrums and have a meltdown, love the inside. Love is still there. It is being crushed, but it's still there. It's still there. But that is the major issue, that we relate to each other according to our sex. So I am relating to Florence as if Florence was a man. She is relating to me as if I am a woman. And that is not the case. Our misunderstanding and sometimes ignorance of the differences between us is one of the biggest reasons why our relationships are not as sweet as they could be. Why we have not been able to translate the joy of courtship into marriages. Because courtship is nice. Courtship is sweet. You remember your courtship? I pity the younger, the today's generation, because their courtship cannot be that nice. Technology makes it too easy. Technology makes it too easy for you. In our day, you know, those were the days when you had to write a letter and wait for 3 weeks for the letter to get to the source. So if you got angry with each other and you want to write to her to call the relationship off, you had to go home and look for a writing pad and write all your anger down. When you finish, you have to wait for the next day to walk to the post office and queue and buy stamp and mail it. And then it will take 3 weeks for it to get to her. And if she even decides to respond immediately, it will take another 3 weeks for it to get to you, 6 weeks. Quite often, by the time you wake up in the morning and decide to go and mail, you decide that, oh, let me read through this thing. And then you read through and you say, what? I wrote such nonsense. Today, as long as you have a thumb, 2 thumbs, I hate you. I never want to see you again. Pam, send. And then he also receives, ha! Have you seen? Okay, me too, I hate you some. I never want to see you, devil. Send. Hey, he called me devil. No room to work out anger. No room. The room is gone. And it's because we are very different from each other. So I'm going to walk you through some of the differences you've discovered already, but maybe you haven't paid too much attention to. And then we'll try and navigate the differences. The first difference is that women can multitask, men cannot. Women can multitask, men cannot. A woman can be cooking, be breastfeeding, be making, plaiting the hair of the first daughter, and chatting on the phone and ironing, and do all of that. Oh, and watching television. and do all of that right. She can multitask to that level. Indeed, I have discovered from my own experience that women can multitask to the point where a woman can be asleep and watching television at the same time. Now, I discovered this by accident. I got home late one day. Florence is asleep in the bedroom. We have a TV in the bedroom. And the remote control had fallen from her hand. How do I know she was sleeping? Because, you know, there is this even breathing that you can't fake if you're not asleep. Doc, there's this, it's a very peaceful, easy, rhythmic breathing. You can't fake it. So the ladies who sometimes you fake that you are asleep, we know you are not asleep. Just that we don't want to fight. That's why we don't tell you, hey, one night, sorry. And she was breathing like that. The remote had fallen out of her hand. I know she was asleep because she didn't notice when I entered the room. So I entered the room, my wife is asleep, the television is on, and I decided that, oh, well, the television is disturbing my wife. So let me put it off so it doesn't wake her up. So I tiptoe to the door. Again, good husband. I don't want to disturb my wife. Pick the remote control. And when I picked the remote control, I didn't move again. I just stood there, turned the remote control to the TV, and pressed off. Bam. As soon as it went off, Florence said, who told you to put it off? And I said, Eura, you are asleep. He said, who told you I'm asleep? I was watching that. I said, you couldn't be watching that. He said, if you like, ask me what they were showing before you put it off, and I'll tell you. All right, so I get it. Women can multitask. Women can multitask. Now, this is where, please, before I go further, let me give you an advice. And I'm advising all the men. If you are sitting by your wife, don't laugh too much. Because me, I will go home. I will leave you and go home. You are going to go with your wife. She would ask you, Uncle Bokasan, I will say, why were you laughing? Why were you laughing? Everybody stopped laughing. And you were laughing. Why? Are you saying that So please, this is the point where you put on a very straight face. And then, so that they don't ask you questions. And you can be sure that when I drop certain things, she will look in your direction. Look at your shoe when it happens that way, you know. Immediately bend down and look at your shoe. Anyway, so this is where the multitasking messes up. Because women can multitask, they assume men can also multitask. We can't. We can't. We wish we could. We can't. Look at the number of times when men on the phone, driving and on the phone have accidents. Women don't have that kind of accident because they can do it. Well, this is how it messes us up in our marriages. For some strange reason, it is on the day when you are watching your favorite television program, UEFA match, Barcelona versus that one will be El Clasico. All right, they don't meet often in UEFA. But let's say Real Madrid versus Manchester or Bayern Munich. 15 minutes to go. Your team is down, but they are pressing. And you know we'll do something. That is the time when your wife comes to you. My dear, guess who I met in town today? And you are going, Oh, my dear, I'm talking to you. My dear, the soccer you are watching is more important than me, than the conversation I'm having with you. Okay, watch your television. And then she's gone. Now, women know when they've cornered us. They know when they've got us. That time, she's not going to go to bed and sleep. She's going to wait for you. She knows you will come. She knows you will come. So she goes and positions herself in the bed in the exact way that she knows you can't walk away. Then you finish. Your team equalized and maybe even won the match. So you are excited. So you go. And then you go and sit by her and you touch her. Crash it. What? Go and watch your TV. Go watch your TV. Now you are standing there angry because you think your wife is being difficult. What kind of unreasonable woman is this? What is this? No. What is messing you up at this particular moment is that she knows she could have watched the television and still carried on the conversation with you and not missed what was on the television. She doesn't understand that you can't do it. You can't do it. So what you should have done is to negotiate. As soon as she came, please negotiate. My dear, I beg you, 15 minutes more. I will come. We would even go for a ride, so we'll talk. Okay, please, I beg you, just allow me. Provided after the show, after the game, you go and look for her, because you promised. Go and look for her and fulfill the terms that you negotiated for the ceasefire. Do you understand me? Go and do it. The failure to do that has caused a lot of harm in a lot of marriages. The second difference that messes us up and makes it difficult for us to show the love we already feel, because ladies, we really love you. Your husbands love you. Men, am I not speaking for you? Yeah. I would have asked you to turn to her and say you love her, but I know women. If you say I love you right now, you say it doesn't count. So if Uncle Bo hadn't said you should tell me I love you, you wouldn't have said it. And that would become a different fight altogether. So, as a veteran of many wars, I won't let you. But the second difference that messes us up and stands in the way of our showing love or letting the love we feel come through is the way men and women make up after a fight. The way men and women make up after a fight. Mr. Nkansa and I are good friends, but we can have our disagreements. We can have a shouting match. We can be so bitterly angry with each other that we can swear at each other and say, I don't want to see you again. And that is it. We'll walk away from each other. But the next time I meet him, and I go like, hi, my brother, how is it? And he responds, yeah, boom, the quarrel is over. He and I will never revisit the issue again. We will not sit down to talk about it again. It didn't happen. It's gone. It's in our past. That is how men do it. If there's any man who doesn't do it that way, we'll have to take his trousers and make an inspection. It is possible he's not a man. Women, on the other hand, are not like that. With a woman, if there is a fight, disagreement, we would have to talk about that issue. We'll have to talk about it. If you don't talk about it, they feel insulted. You are sweeping it under the carpet. You are insulting her intelligence. She hates that. So, let's apply that in a marriage. You know, these days we are all staying further and further away from the city center. So you work in Accra Central, but you live a bit far away. God has blessed you, so you've been able to afford some house out there. In many of the good places we are living now, if you don't leave home by 6, you'll not be able to get to your office at 8. Is that not the case? Those of you who live in Dabraka and Salamda, you are fortunate. You don't know what living in Accra is. Now, so, and in many cases, you know, if by 6 o'clock I am not in the car, I would be late. So one day you are running a bit late. So you get into the car at 6:05. So you know I'm already late. Just as you start the car to take off, your wife runs into the room. My dear, my dear, my dear, my dear. Typical man. What? What? Typical woman. Oh, I'm sorry. Please go. Now that go is the most difficult go. You know? Who are police in chill, but you two, you can't go. Do you understand me? So, you stand there and say, look, okay, what is it? What is it? Oh, no, please, go. You say you are late, please, go. And then she turns and she goes back. She knows she's got you. Now, being a good man, you realize you can't go because you just snap at your wife. So you get down. You leave the engine still running, but you get down. Go to the hall. She's waiting for you. Yeah, my dear, yes, what is it? Oh, you say you are late. Please, I don't want you to be late. Go. If you are married to a correct woman, she will never tell you at that time. Go. Now, anyway, you can't continue standing there because she's not going to talk. So you go, you set up. Now, normally, women, you don't think that we think over our actions, but we do. On your way to the office, you begin to think, oh, Charlie, I didn't handle this thing well. I should have been a little bit patient. I mean, she wanted. Okay. So now you know you're good. Now, one of the charges against a lot of men is that we never call home unless they call us. So, so this time, knowing what you have done, as soon as you got to the office, you decide to call home and report that I have gotten to the office. So you call, and you know your wife. You know that your wife loves to receive calls from you. And whenever you surprise her with a call like that, she would blow it up and go, hey, where did I sleep? Yeah. But this time, into call. So as soon as the call comes, she picks it. Yes. Because she knows it's you. Yes. Oh, it's me. Oh, I just got to the office. We thank God. They say traffic, the traffic on the way today, the road is some way. I see. Now it is not working according to plan. You understand me? So, being a typical man, now you resort to bribing. You begin to bribe her. And so, my dear, didn't you say that you have to attend your auntie's, cousin's, nephew's, husband's funeral? Yes. All right. Look into my drawer. There's some money in there. I mean, take it, and then whatever you need, go ahead and do it. Thank you. All right. Okay, then, my dear, I have to go. Then you cut it. Are there ladies in the house? Are there ladies in the house? You can identify with the conversation. All right. Now listen to me, ladies. As soon as the boy hangs up, in his male mind, boom, the battle is over. We had a fight. His version. I'm giving you his version. I'm giving you his version. We had a very bad start, but thank God I called home. We had a very nice chat. My wife and I, we are back on. We have a good relationship. That is his male mind. Because if it had been a fellow man, that would have been the end of the issue. But you are married to a woman. We haven't been started. Now, again, being the man, you know you haven't done well. You know you've called home. You know that as far as your man is concerned, oh, I called home. She took the call. She picked the call. We had a nice chat. But you decide that you would like to up your game a little. You know, so your wife is always been complaining that as for you, when you are coming home, you just come with your hands, empty hands like that, just like that. You know, anytime they ask you, what did you bring home? So I brought myself. And so this time, you know your wife loves ice cream. And you decide that let me surprise her. Yabomo, but I'm going to raise the bar a little. I'm going to raise the bar a little. So you buy ice cream on the way, and you go home, and you are feeling good. Do you understand me? Men, are there men here? You are feeling very good. You think like, yeah, my wife is going to give me a kiss right now. She's going to scream with excitement, and we're going to have a very nice evening. So you go in, and it's behind you. Now, your wife knows there is a battle to be fought. She will not sleep. You can come at 2 that day. She would wait for you, either in the sitting room or in the bedroom. She's waiting. She's not just waiting. She's doing a remix of all the hymns and local choruses and turning them all into dirges. Do you understand me? That is when even a praise and worship song is sung in such a way that we could easily sing it at a funeral. So you get in. You have the gift behind you. You walk in and say, my dear, guess what I brought to you? I can't guess. Oh, I said guess. Guess what I brought to you. What? You realize that, no, okay, it's not working. Let's hurry this up. So you bring it out and go, ta-da! Ice cream! And you know your wife loves ice cream. Even when she is dying, she will not reject an ice cream. But in Tokwaho, so ice cream! And she goes, put it down. Oh, my dear, ice cream, oh. Sir, I've heard you. Put it down. Oh, you won't eat? Well, you brought it to me. You brought it for me, so you put it down. By this time, the man is beginning to get upset. What kind of woman did I marry? What kind of a difficult woman did I get to marry? What wrong did I do, God, that he made me marry this woman who doesn't understand anything, who is angry, who is difficult? Well, listen to me. Your wife is not difficult. She's a woman. There was an issue. You upset her in the morning. Until you come for the issue to be dealt with, whatever you do for her is non-scoring. Every goal you score is an offside goal at that point. Because you haven't come and opened your mouth to say, my dear, the way I spoke to you this morning was not right. I am sorry. Now, when you do that, when you apologize, you do that. You refer to the issue. And don't do I'm sorry, but no, I am sorry. When you do that, now wait for the history lesson. When any woman is upset with her husband, she becomes a history professor. And that's how the history lesson goes. As soon as you apologize, so you know you apologize. That's why you did it. It's the same thing you did 5 years ago. 5 years ago, when we went to your cousin's wedding, you screamed at me and everybody around was looking at me. 3 years ago, I remember that day it had rained. And you did the same thing to me there. And you are going, Era, this is up. No. Shut up, young man. Put your hands behind you. History professor is lecturing. Keep quiet and listen. And when she finishes everything, your final, I am sorry. Yeah, you are the only one who can cope with me. Oh. That's why I appreciate you so much. I am sorry. It is only at that point that you have your wife back. She's back. She's back. We miss that, and it irritates the women a lot. You know there's a fight. You come and you are pretending as if nothing has happened. No, come and apologize first. Let's deal with the issue. And after the issue, let me give you the history lesson and tell you what a foolish man you've been in other cases. So that you learn a few lessons. So those are two differences that mess us up. Let's go to the third. The third difference. Women have WNN. WNN. WNN is Women's News Network. It is more effective than CNN, Al Jazeera, BBC, MSNBC, Fox News, all of them, Joy News, all of them put together. It is more effective. Men don't know what it is, and it messes us up a lot. Women have news network. It has correspondence all over the place. Correspondence all over the place. What a lot of men don't know is this, that when a woman meets a man whose wife she knows, she feels it is her duty to report the sighting to the woman. And if she doesn't have a direct link to the man, and she knows to the woman, and she knows the woman through another friend, she will call her friend to call her friend to tell him he's met him. That's it. It's not concern. That's not concern. That is just women relating to each other. That's the way they bond. That's the way they show, I am concerned about you. I am interested in you. That's the way they get in touch. WNN. How does the WNN work? You live at, where? You live at Teshinunga. And you have some contraband that you are developing somewhere. Do you understand me? And you know that if you told your wife that you go into, let's say, Labadi, there will be trouble. Because your wife will know where you are going and why are you going there. So you tell your wife that, well, my dear, today I want to visit my uncle Atema. Is he ill? No. But I haven't seen him since for a long time, so I want to see him. Okay. My regards to him. And then you go. Where did you say you are going? Tema. And then you take off. Then you get to Labadi. There is a lady whose house you drive in front. You don't know her. Because men, we never get to know the friends of our wives, except the close friends. None of you know the full network of your wives. No, you don't. You know the few who are close, but you don't know the full network. So she's standing there and she says, oh, that's Mr. So. Then she picks the phone and she calls home, your wife. Hey, Ajua, guess who just drove in front of my house? Now your wife knows she lives at Labadi. Guess who just drove in front of my house? And said, who? So, oh, my brother. My brother just drove. Hey, Ajua, you're doing well. He's looking so good, eh? He's doing so good. You've done well. Really? Okay. CNN has filed a report on you. So you come back home. You come back home. If you are married to a wise woman, she will not show what she knows. The women who are giddy, they are very easy to dribble. You know, the woman who sees everything, hey, what is this? What is this? Those women, they are very easy to dribble. The difficult ones are the cool ones. She has seen, she hasn't seen. She has heard, she hasn't heard. She's waiting for an appointed time. So you come, and then like a good lawyer, and all women are lawyers. Like a good lawyer, she must put you on record. Do you understand me? She must put you on record and adjourn the court. So as soon as you come, in her mind, you are in the witness box. So she asks you, my dear, how is your uncle? And then you say, oh, he's fine. He even sends his regards. You are on record that you went to your uncle. It's on record. Then she backs off from the issue. Would you eat? Oh, yeah, I'm hungry. Okay, she serves you. She's an intelligent woman. She won't bother you. But she knows you're a man. You'll forget. 3 weeks later, your wife comes to you and says, my dear, I need to go to do something at Tema. How is the Harbour Road like? The Tema Harbour Road. How is it like? The portals, have they worked on it? And then you go, but you do I work with highways? Why are you asking me? That way, I haven't even used it for the whole year. And then she goes, my dear, what did you say? I'm surprised. I mean, you too, sometimes you do something so. I don't work with Ghana Airways, then you're asking me about Tema Road. I mean, what would I go and do at Tema Road? On a Tema Road. And she goes, hey, my dear, are you not the one who 3 weeks ago went to see your uncle at Tema? Now, on such an occasion, even if the temperature is -2 degrees, you'll still be sweating. You will still be sweating. And that is when a lot of men use buga buga. I said, why? You two, why? Well, that's why I don't like talking with you. I mean, CNN are chill. CNN are chill. I mean, keep quiet. CNN, I discovered CNN by accident. At a certain point in my life, I was doing the kind of job that made me move around a lot. So I would often put people in the car who need counseling, and then whilst I'm going to do business, we talk. Now on this occasion, a lady comes to see me in the office just around closing time. And she's one of those ladies whose issues are always long, always long. So as soon as she came, I knew I couldn't sit with her in the office when we have closed. It will raise too many questions. I mean, you closed, what were you doing with the woman in the office? So I decided, she lived at Bawe. I was working at Kokomemle. I'm talking about something that happened in the early 90s. The Bawe roads were not very good. But I decided I'll go and drop her. I said, so you sit down. I'll go and drop you. So we took off. I didn't know she was coming. If I knew she was coming, I would have told Florence in the house before I left. Anyway, so I went to drop her. She lived in her senior sister's house. The senior sister was abroad, and they had put up a house, and she was more or less the caretaker of the house. The house had been constructed in that part of Bawe that had not, where the roads have not been done yet. So I had to drive on grass to get to the gate. In those days, electricity was a problem in some parts of Bawe, so there was no electricity in the area. And for all we got there around 7 p.m. And for all the time that she sat in the car, when we got there, she hadn't finished talking, so I parked and we sat in the car in front of the gate. And for all the time we parked there, not even a dog passed by. Finally, she finished, she got down. I didn't get down. She got down, went through. I waited for her to enter the gate and close the gate. And I did a U-turn and came back the same way we have gone. So I get home a bit later than usual. I get home and Florence asks, again, lawyer, she must put you on record first. So she goes like, Ebo, are you coming straight from the office? Now, because of some mistakes I had made earlier in our marriage, I had made certain resolutions. I will never lie to my wife. Because I had paid some price before. You know, the most painful price to pay is for the lies you didn't need to tell. Do you understand me? Men, you understand? We are men. There are lies we tell not because we have anything to hide. Not because there's anything going on, but you also didn't want argument. You didn't want too many questions, so you lie. And then it catches up with you because don't be an end. So I had made up my mind, I would never lie to my wife. So when she asked me, are you now coming from the office? I said, no. Just when I was about to close, so and so came to the office. And you know so and so and her issues. So I drove her home. And I am not coming. I didn't know she was coming. That is why I couldn't give you any advance notice. I apologize for coming late. Now, if you think I was handling the situation well, it's only because of the whips I've had before. I mean, this is a reformed man. Do you understand me? Then she goes, would you eat? I said, yes, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. So she serves me, and she comes to sit directly in front of me. And she goes, Ebo, why are you like that? At that time, I knew this boy is going to be in trouble. You know, sometimes you feel you're in trouble even when... Why are you like that? And I said, like what? Said, you take a woman home. It is dark. And you not even get down from your car to walk her into her house. What if something had happened or something was waiting for her behind the gate? Why wouldn't you walk with her, at least let her enter her room and lock the door before you come? You didn't even get down. And young men, the men here, listen to me. When your wife shocks you, don't show shock. Because sometimes women draw something to watch your reaction, and your reaction is rather that gives them the information. They have no evidence. Sometimes. But this one, I think the BNN had filed the report. So I had learned a few things. So I kept a straight face. And I kept on eating. I knew, okay, WNN has been here. Then she goes, I wasn't going to react to it. Then she goes, why did you do U-turn? Why did you do U-turn? Because I'm told that if you had gone forward just 15 meters, there's a better road and a shorter road, and it will have brought you to the main road. It's called the BNN. It has filed a report. If any of you haven't learned this yet, the last person you should lie to is your wife. It shatters all trust. It kills her passion. It makes her afraid. Because what we don't realize is this. Our wives love to make a boast with us. As for Kwame there, as for John there, as for Kojo there. And it irritates their friends no end. Whenever they say that, hey, you and Kwame, you wait. You is a man who, yeah, man, you see. I say, no, Kwame is not like that. Our wives boast with us. All men may be bad, but my husband is not like that. So when you lie to her, all those things she's been told come to play. And she begins to get jittery. The last person you should lie to is your wife. Tell her the truth. I'm a man. I know that certain truth will bring you war. In almost every home, there is a name that brings war. There's a name that brings war. In almost every home. If you're a normal man and you live a normal life, there's a name of a woman. When it comes up, light goes off in your house. At least for some time. And I don't know what it is. I am convinced that the ovaries of a woman is more than ovaries. I mean, I think it is an antenna or something. Because you could go for 3 months without meeting this person. Then the day the woman passes by your office or gives you a call, she has called, you didn't call, she calls you. That day, and remember, you haven't spoken with this girl for about 6 months. Your wife has never asked you about this girl before. for all this time. That day you get home and she goes like, oh, my dear, when was the last time you heard from Alice? Harmlessly. And women, they have a way, when they are most dangerous, they are very sweet. Oh, my dear, when was the last time you heard from Alice? As if she cares about Alice. No, she doesn't. And for a moment, you have to hold a discussion with yourself. You have to consult. You have to have a consultation. Self, are we going to tell the truth and get a cold treatment? She could be. And then the other side would have talked. So you are likely to say, oh, well, I haven't heard from her in a long time. Trust me, in 65% of the cases, when your wife asks you a question, she already knows the answer. You go like, so if she knows the answer, why is she asking? She's asking to confirm that you are still the man she married, the man she's been boasting about, whether she can still rely on you. So, strange that you would ask. She just called me today. And sometimes that's the end. That's that. Your wife wants to be able to tell her friends that, if Kojo is doing something, if there's something inside this, if I ask Kojo, he will tell me. They want that. It gives them that assurance. And quite often, we don't do that. I'll give you two more differences and then we'll go because I think I've messed up your time. The next difference is what I call the marking scheme. Men and women have a different marking scheme. Are there any teachers in the house? Any teacher? All right, there's a teacher there. There's a teacher there. Okay. You know that for every exam, you have to have a marking scheme. And men and women have different marking schemes. In a marriage, whatever you do for your wife, you get 1 mark. Whatever you do for your wife, you get 1 mark. Buy her a car, how many marks? Take her to moving pick. Take her on a foreign trip, 1 mark. Men are much more generous with their marks. A man can give you as many as 1,000 marks, just like that. Buy a man an iPhone, 5,000 marks. And she would, for years, for months, for days, she would be talking, Alice bought me this. Alice bought me this, my wife. What has your wife bought you? Me, my wife bought me this. Mark. So, we are generous with our marks. We give plenty. We are like a teacher who is not too good. He will give you all the marks. Good teachers don't give marks like that. All right, how does this thing work? It is your wife's birthday. And you arrange to surprise her. So you arrange for a dinner at Kempinski. Kempinski. I said Kempinski. You arrange for dinner for her. You even go ahead and get them to decorate a table for you. All right? Now, you surprise her. Oh, by the way, men, if you're going to take your wife out, don't make it a surprise. Never surprise your wife with an outing. Can I tell you the reason? The men, never surprise your wife with an outing because you make her lose something. If you're going to take your wife to Kempinski, tell her about 2 weeks ahead. She needs to earn marks with her friends. So she will go to the office. Yay, Mikra, what have we? Now, Kempinski, what should you wear to Kempinski? And then the others will go, hey, now, Ajua, Kempinski, the man here. Hey, Kojo, also me call Kempinski. And then all of them envy her. Hey, or do cook him. Hey, Kojo do. It's part of it. She feels good. Now, why she's feeling good because of what you've done, all their husbands are losing marks because none of them are taking it. That is why you should never surprise your wife with an outing. Surprise her with a gift, not with an outing. With an outing, especially the fancier the place, the more notice you should give. Tell her. So she will make everybody envy her. And when she goes to the salon, it will be. She'll go to the salon and she'll wait when the other friends are around. And she'll enter. Sarah, wait. I need a special hairdo because baby I make on nothing. And then all her friends, the people will go, hey, Kempensky, I was saying, Kempensky, hey, Kempensky, what do you know? Yeah, me call Kempensky. My husband is taking me to Kempensky. And all of them, really? And she's feeling good. You know, that is a part that you men, you don't see. Don't deny her of that. Don't deny her of that. Tell her in advance, let her make all her friends green with envy. Let all her friends raise you above their husbands so that they will go home. They will go home. And their husbands come home. Ajua, what is there? What is there? They ask Akawa, I don't know. What is there? What is there? What is there? Anyway, so you take her, so you tell her, my dear, we're going to Kempensky. Kempensky? Really? Are we? 1 mark. She hugs you, she's excited. Yeah, we are going to Kempensky. 1 mark. So that evening, she will give you a very special deal. Do you understand me? Your food will be different. Sex will be different. Because she's happy. We are going to Kempensky. And she's worrying. And what am I going to wear? So what do I do with my hair and things like that? It's fun. The day comes. You get into the car, pick her. You are heading to Kempensky. 1 mark. You enter Kempensky, and she sees the arrangement and the extent to which you've gone to get this place for her. And she, oh, my dear, it has my name. Yeah, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Oh, I'm a So, right there, she grabs you and plants a kiss on you. I love you, you are the best, you are the best. Now, meanwhile, you don't know how many marks you've had. So you are feeling good because you are looking at the price, you are looking at the distance you've gone, and you know that in her shoes, you would have given about 2 million marks. Because Kempensky is not be easy. But you got 1 mark. So you've had a very good evening. You see her joy and her delight, and you are affirmed. You wish there was even a more expensive place you could take her. You feel good. This has worked well. It's been a good evening. Now you're coming back home. Nice evening. No traffic in town. Then you remember that the UEFA Cup final is on. And you decide, I want to catch the second half. You look at the time. Well, if I hurry a little, I'll catch it. So you press the gas a little. She has had a wonderful evening. She doesn't want it to end. So you are going too fast. So she goes, my dear, slow down. And I go, slow down, why? Are you the one to teach me how to drive? Then she shuts off. She goes quiet. Now you talk with her, and she's not responding. And in your male mind, you are going, what the hell? I just took you to Kempensky. Which of your relatives have been to Kempensky? I took you to Kempensky. And you are snubbing me in the car. What you didn't realize is that when she kissed you at the table, that was the 1 mark gone. At the time you sat in the car, your balance was 0. When you snapped at her that about she shouldn't, you went into negative. Now, a lot of men feel that, oh, no, that's unfair. That is unfair. Why should they give us 1 mark? The good thing is that they give us 1 mark for everything, and you can pile it up. So, run a bath for her, 1 mark. She's cooking. Go and stand by her in the kitchen and engage her in a conversation, 1 mark. You finish and say, oh, my dear, let me clear the table, 1 mark. She's asleep on a Sunday morning. So, my dear, you hang in there. Let me take care of the children. Or let me go and prepare breakfast for you, 1 mark. So you bring her a flower, 1 mark. Bring her a chocolate, 1 mark. You can pile the 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark. A man, if you bring me a chocolate, what is chocolate? I don't care. So you get no marks for that. Bring me what? Bring my food. Oh, no marks. Yeah, that's why you are my wife. No marks. Clear the table, no marks. Lay the bed, no marks. But with you, anytime you change the sheets yourself for her, 1 mark. Anytime you decide, oh, let me iron for you, 1 mark. Anytime you call her in the middle of the day and said, I'm just checking on you, 1 mark. Do you see how it works? You get a mark for every thoughtful thing you do. For a man, we look at the expense of what you have done before we feel it. The marking scheme. The marking scheme has messed a lot of people up because you look at what you've done. That's why a lot of men will say that I do everything for my wife, but she doesn't appreciate me. No, you do everything for her and you get 1 mark. Please don't waste the 1 mark because it can go very, very quickly. All right. Let me give you the last and then I would end. I have 13 of those differences, but we don't have the time. So the last one. Now, the last one has always brought me trouble. But I also feel that it would be very irresponsible if I don't state it. And the last difference between men and women that messes us up in our marriages is this. Women are more intelligent than men. Women are more intelligent than men. I can look in the face of somebody, if a man and he's saying, Papa, I was beginning to like him. The spiritual authority in the house never leaves a man. Do you understand me? The spiritual authority in the house will never leave the man. It never changes hands. But intelligence, your wife has it. Your wife is more intelligent than you. Your wife has intuition. You don't have intuition. It's part of intelligence. Your wife can see all aspects of an issue at a glance. You can't. One of my friends who was a lecturer at Legon, he's passed now, told me once, he said, Ebo, an issue is brought to our home. And as soon as the issue is stated, my wife expresses her opinion on it. Oh, this one, why don't you do A, B, C, D? And he said, I would jump at her and say, you, what is wrong with you? A serious issue like that, you just open your mouth and you talk by heart. This thing, you have to think about it. You haven't even thought about it. You just open your mouth and you talk. And he said, Ebo, I'll spend 5 weeks, analyze, look at it from every angle. And at the end of 5 weeks, I come to the same conclusion my wife came to like that. A woman can look at your friend and be able to tell you, my dear, this guy is not a good friend. And you go, how do you know? Say, I know. You can't call him your friend. Please don't bring him to the house again. And you're likely to go, you don't like anybody. You don't like any of my friends. No. By her intelligence, she can tell. I know some of you men are upset with that. So I'm going to make you my witnesses. Is there any man who is angry with what I've just said about women being more intelligent? And if you raise your hand and your wife is here, now won't so. You know, if you had a very serious issue, a very, very serious issue, which of your parents would you go to first, your mother or your father? No, only the ladies, don't talk. Ladies, don't talk some. Don't talk some, let the men. Which of your parents would you go to, mother or father? Hello? Then it isn't a serious issue. Who would you go to? You are likely to go to your mother first. Because you know your father's tolerance level is low. If it's a real serious issue, You go to your father and say, as soon as you tell him, why are you coming to tell me? You see your subai. I've always told you to be careful. You see what you've gone to bring into this house? Go and deal with it. Your mother is going to go devastated. She's going, yeah, what is this? Yeah, what are we going to do? Do we call pastor? Do we do this? Let me do this. Let me do this. She will walk you through it. It's part of intelligence. If I went from here with you to your house and I said I wanted water to drink, young man, you are likely to go into the fridge. And in whatever shape you find the water, you bring it to me. If you have sachet water in there, you pick one, hold it, and bring it to me. If it's bottled water, you grab it and bring it. Bottled water, like that, and bring it to me. If I'm fortunate, you remove the rubber on the top. If I'm not, you just put it in my hand. You to open it some. After all, what did I ask for? Water. What have you brought to me? If I ask your wife for water, you know what she will look for first? A tray. A napkin. Because you're a glass. Because your wife understands that the packaging of the thing is as important as the thing. We don't care. We think that, well, he asked for water, I gave him water. Women are more intelligent than men. So, don't resent it. It's the reason why, have you had this situation where you decide on something, you decide to take a certain step. You have looked at everything, every angle of it. You think you got it right. You may even have consulted your male friends, and they've all agreed with you. Then you come home and you tell your wife about the decision, and she asks you only one question. And as soon as the question lands, you begin to realize, oh my goodness, what kind of decision is it? Suddenly you begin to feel that, and then instead of being humble, you are likely to go, you see why I don't discuss anything with you? You see? You see? Listen to, look at where you pass with it. Her question is showing you that you haven't thought of all the angles of it. It's intelligence. Even in the matter of dressing. Men, we don't care about our appearance much. Especially those of us who are not womanizers. Womanizers learned a few things along the way. But the straight guys who did not do some of these things, they are difficult. You have to break them in. I mean, they are not easy. So, you are going out. You dress. Okay, my dear, I'll see you. And she goes like, oh, my dear, are you going? Oh, yeah, I'm going. In this, what is wrong with it? Oh, my dear, no. I thought you were going to wear this one. No, but what is wrong with this? What? Oh, my dear, you just change it. And then you change it. If you are a wise man and you change it, you come out and everybody says, oh, brother, so he dresses well. If you're a foolish man, you go like that. What is wrong with it? I mean, I don't want you to control me like that. What is it? I'm going with it. I'm going. Then you come out and people see you in church and say, now where was his wife when he dressed? Because what we don't realize is that when you are not doing something right, they don't talk to you. They talk to your wife. It is your wife they attack. That's why sometimes they get so strong in insisting on certain things, because they know they will receive it, not you. If your colors don't match, nobody will talk to you. If you're a brother, nobody will mind you. If you've been wearing the same dress over and over and over, nobody will talk to you. But they will talk to your wife. They will laugh at her and say she's not been a good wife. Oh, by the way, ladies, if your husband has a dress that has worn out, it has outlived its useful days, but he loves that dress and would always wear it, there are two things to do. One day, take it from here and say, my dear, let me iron it for you. And then, so a few moves like that, and then leave it on, and turn towards him. My dear, and then ask some question. Ask a question. You know the kind of question you can ask. Then you ask the question. Then by the time he answers, oh, my dear, oh, my dear, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You would have taken care of that dress. If not, there are also dresses that there are some dresses that some men, as soon as they come home and they take off their dress, it's their default dress. But there's some juice in it for him, and he must wear it by all means. All right. So he comes home at 5, at 6. He comes home at 6. At 5:30, soak it. No, soak it. So he comes and takes it off. He takes off his dress and he's looking around and he's looking around and he's looking around and he's looking around. My dear, what is it? My T-shirt. Where's my T-shirt? What T-shirt? Oh, my T-shirt, the gray one. Oh no, not sent kakrabim. I soaked it. I thought I was going to, but because of the children, tomorrow I will wash it for you. Leave it there for 3 days. The point I'm making is that men need to be managed. I know that I have not spoken directly to the topic you gave me. The topic you gave me was how to love your partner to bits. I believe that until we gain understanding, a lot of the principles I could have given you will not be useful. Because the things that mess our relationships up are not big things. They are the minor things. Minor things based on our lack of understanding of each other and of our sexes. And I hope that the evening has been useful to you. May God bless every one of you. May He renew your love relationship over and over. May the fun you had when you met each other, when you couldn't sleep without calling each other, may that fun never go away. May you never lose the attraction for your spouse. May laughter never depart from you. May your lovemaking be sweet. And may it be diverse. May there be variety in the bedroom. And may God bless the children He blesses you with. May your children become pillars among their peers. May they become the head and not the tail. May God fight your battles for you. May provision never be lacking in your home. And may God be glorified in your home and in your relationship and your career. Thank you very much, and I apologize for taking too much of your time.
Thank you so much. We'll take a few questions. If you have a few questions, please, the opportunity is now. Any question, contribution, comment, please. Please, the intelligent one should ask. Yeah. One mark.
Okay. You said, okay, with the example you gave about the man watching UEFA match, and then the woman comes in to ask a question. I was just wondering, don't you think that probably the woman could have waited and maybe at an opportune time come with her question, unless it's a life-threatening issue? And then also with the car issue where he was late to, or he's late to work, and then the lady comes in. I was thinking, okay, he's late. Why don't you wait when he comes back? Or during the day when he called, you could have also said that, Charlie, this morning, the way you spoke, I didn't like it, blah, blah, blah. I'm just thinking that. Thank you.
All right.
Please, any more questions?
I see you dressed like a woman. You are a woman. The question you ask is a question every man here is asking. Every man here, every man who has ever been married, we ask that question. We don't get answers. Yes, there's a hand here.
I think there's more of a contribution than a question. All that Uncle Ebo Whyte has said this evening, we can all relate. And just like she asked, why didn't the woman just wait? I think when we know these things, with time, maybe in the first couple of years or so, you struggle.
Yeah.
But then as you learn these things, you come to couples fellowship at Rich Church, and you learn all these things. It gets easier. You know that when there's a football match, Charlie, you find somewhere. I didn't used to like football, but at a point I was a Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
I was watching Chelsea and I knew all the football technicalities. I could even predict the goals and even who the coach will put in, what is lacking where, because you won't get the man when there's a football match.
Yeah.
So the best thing is join and learn. Thank you.
Yes.
Please, one of the differences I've also realized is that men get angry with objects and women get angry with fellow human beings. It's something I read. I don't know how true. And the question I want to ask is that, is it right when issues come up, if you realize that your spouse is not educated in some of these things, you find a way of raising some of these issues right in the midst of maybe an argument? And I'm asking this because about 2 weeks ago, my daughter went to school and then came back to report that her teacher had eaten her food. And I was really upset. And I kept raising this issue, but her father didn't see anything wrong with it. And then one day he was like, why is it that you're always getting angry at the teacher? There's nothing wrong with her eating the girl's food. And then I said, okay, men get angry with objects. Women get angry with fellow human beings. So I have every right to get angry with the teacher. You won't understand because you are not a woman. And then it ended the argument. So now we've never raised it again. But I want to know if it's right that in the midst of an issue, you try and educate him on it. And then I also want to know how true that fact is that men get angry with objects, computers, even chairs, carpets, and then women get angry with fellow human beings. Thank you.
When there's an issue, I think the relationships that are working are the relationships that know when to pick their fights and when to prosecute a fight and when to let certain things lie. I discovered that good marriages and bad marriages have the same issues. We have the same difficulties, the same problems. The difference is always in the how and the when the issues are handled. The same issue handled the wrong time could blow up. At a different time, you get a better result. I think men, we get angry with other men as well. I mean, look at us in traffic and taxi drivers, and you'll know that we get angry with human beings as well. So it is not that completely true that we get angry with things, and women get angry with human beings. All right. I think we are done, aren't we?
MFR, was your question answered? Or suggestion? There was a suggestion. Okay. Please, any more questions? Yes.
Now, you realize that the ladies ask very, very pertinent questions. He is sitting by his wife. You listen to the question he would ask. No pressure, no pressure, no pressure.
Now he can't even ask the question again.
No, I wanted to pray. He will be driving home. I will not be there. So I just wanted to save my brother.
You touched just a few minutes ago on the difference between a good marriage and a bad marriage being the fact that the same issues are there, but they are handled differently and at different times. Can you give a few examples as to what kinds of issues and what an example of a bad time to handle those issues would be to a good time, for example?
One of the issues that messed me up early in my marriage, in those days, we had a single income family. I was the one who brought the income. My wife was a housewife. And I could not get over the fact that I get home late and she's upset. And I get very upset. You sit home, you don't know what it is out there. I go kill myself and come, and without even knowing why I am late, you are angry. You know, and it brought too many painful evenings. So I began to pray about it because in my relationship, I am quite conscious that I am relating to God. God is in this marriage. And therefore, it is not just that I can handle my wife. How is God seeing this? So I said, no, Lord, this is not right. Can you show me how to handle this? So the next day, I happened to go home late. And of course, she was in the hall. And the look on her face, she was cold. You know, I could have frozen some drink inside. Do you understand? In the past, I would have walked away angry and gone and be cold myself too. But because of what I have prayed and things like that, God gave grace. So I walked to her and I said, Florence, have I told you that you look sexy when you frown? Oh, frown some more, frown some more. Hey, Bob, I don't like that. I'm very angry with you. I said, oh, no, frown some more. You look very, very sexy when you frown. I don't like that. I don't want to laugh. I am angry. I don't want to laugh. Then I went on and said, Florence, I'm sorry I came late. Just when I was leaving the office, this thing came up, and I needed to deal with it. I'm sorry I couldn't call home. I apologize. So, and then after I had done the apology, I walked away because I needed to give her room to process and to get over this thing. So I was in the room when she came, and then our relationship was back on. You know, there wasn't that whole evening of anger and things. No, we took off right from there. So that is one case where the timing and the approach made all the difference. All right. I skipped rehearsals to come here, so I will need to go and close. We are preparing our next play. Nicholas is on at the National Theatre on the 25th and 26th of this month. I don't know how many of you have watched. How many of you have watched my plays? Oh, okay. That's a good. Those of you who didn't raise your hands, why? You don't like me? They are bro, no. They want free ticket. Come and support some of these things. Come and support, because the plays are put together for people like you. So come and have fun. So 25th and 26th of November at the National Theatre is the first play that I'm doing that is biographical. All the other plays have been fictional. This one is not fictional. We're doing something about a real living person. And I picked that person because of the significant role he has played, especially in the way we express our Christian witness in Ghana. And also because I discovered that Hollywood was very much eager to get his story. And I decided we would celebrate him first. We would tell that story here before Hollywood lays his hand on it. And I'm happy. It's going to be one of our most significant productions. And I hope we could see all of you there. So thank you very much. Please allow me to run away because I need to.
We'd like to pray for you before you go. We'd like to pray for you before you go.
Okay.
We want to repeat the dose. Maybe after this, something else will happen. Amen. Thank you very much. Shall we stretch our hands towards him? We know how important marriage is to the church and the witness of the church. Pray a blessing into his life. Then after that, we'll share a word of prayer together. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for Uncle Ebo Whyte. We thank you for his ministry, playwright, counseling, and everything that he does. We thank you especially at this time for his role in counseling, marriage, and even to be couples. Father, we continue to ask that you grant him the grace and continue to open his eyes to see the wonderful things that still exist that he has not known, so that his ministry will grow further still. We pray that you make him a blessing to many people, that through him many marriages will be helped and supported, that through him, Lord, the church would stand firm because marriages will start firm in the church. We pray for his productions. We pray for this coming production in Nicholas. Father, we pray that even as he has confessed that it's the first time he's doing this, Lord, through this you will open new doors for him, that further people will be blessed, that you enlighten his eyes to see which dimensions to take his ministry, so that, Lord, he will continue to impact the life of others. We pray for his wife and his family, the many children that he has. Father, continue to make him a blessing to them and continue to help them to support him in his ministry. Lord, we can go on and on, but you know our hearts as we stretch forth our hands to him. May all the good things that we have asked come to being, because it is you, Lord, who blesses us and adds no sorrow to it. Thank you so much. Watch over him as he goes to close his rehearsal. Protect him and all his loved ones. In Jesus' name do we pray with thanksgiving. Amen. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you,
I'd
Reverend.
like to thank you. And on Friday afternoons, if you have a bit of time, from 12:30 to 1:30, I do a Facebook Live program called Encore, in which I talk about marriage, love, and relationships. 12:30 to 1:30 every Friday is called Encore Facebook Live. You can also watch it on YouTube. So join us. And my novels, they are part 1 and part 2. The first of them is The Deal, and then the follow-up is The Perfect Couple. You'll be blessed, and some of my magazines are out there. So please show love before you go.